All right, next problem here. So we're going to start off by looking at the question sentence. And that question sentence reads, how much rope remains? So you might be deciphering here that, hey, we're asking how much is left? How much do we have left after an event happens? So there's actually, a dead giveaway in this problem. And there's also a neat way to take care of it when it comes to taking care of the fractions. So first of all, let me use the context, the story, to show you what the right answer is without doing any math at all, really. So let me go through it like this. We want to know how much rope remains, so it sounds like we might be subtracting. It says this much rope is cut to remove this much for a project. Okay, so we started off with this much rope. And then we removed, which means we'll be subtracting this much rope, 5/6 of a meter. Okay, everybody. So answer this for me. And think about this, but answer this for me. Is 5/6, is that bigger than or smaller than 1 whole? Is, again, 5/6 bigger than or smaller than 1? It's smaller, right? Because again, the numerator is less than the denominator. We have to hit at least 6 for this to be considered 1. So when you think about it, everybody, if you have the number 2 and you subtract less than 1, so like if I subtract half or a quarter or 3/4 or 9/10, again, I don't subtract a full 1. Everybody, which of these answers is the only answer that makes sense? If I have 2, and I don't even take off a full 1, a full whole, I'm going to have 2 and some change. It could be 2.5, could be 2.5, could be 2.3. I don't know. But when we take this away, it's going to be 2 minus whatever that is, and that'll be 1 and change. I may, excuse me, I may have said 2 and change. I meant 1 and change. If I have 2 and I take away a part, I'm going to have 1 and a part. And so, everybody, which is the only answer that shows that? 1 and a little bit more, 1 and a bit. That's going to be B. B is the only answer that makes any practical sense in this case, because we have 2, take away something that's less than 1. That's always going to be something a little bit more than 1. Now, that's, again, just at a glance. Now I would like to show you a more constructive way to get this done. So here we go. What we need to do, like I just said, was take 2 and subtract 5/6. All right. There are, again, 2 straightforward ways to do this. The first way, which is always going to be the correct way, it's just going to, potentially take some more time, is something like this. Everybody, if I'm subtracting fractions, we need to have the same denominator. One more time, everybody, yes or no in the chat box. To subtract fractions, we have to have the same denominator. Yes or no? Yes, absolutely. All right, my party people. So here's a follow-up question. What denominator do we currently see on the 2? Even though I don't see anything, what's the denominator on this 2? It's going to be 1. Absolutely. Let me move this over here. Let me move it slightly up. Even though we don't see it, there is a 1 there. So here's the easy question now. What do I multiply 1 by to make it the same denominator 6? What am I multiplying the 1 by? Yeah, multiplying by 6. Look at that. As long as we remembered that all whole numbers are the same as the whole number over 1, boom, it's a fraction. There we are, and we're good. So now we're just going to play the same rules, multiply by 6 on the bottom and top. And here we are. We have 12/6 minus 5/6. Everybody, what's 12 minus 5? What's that going to give us? 12 minus 5 gives us 7. And so that'll be 7/6. Notice how we don't see 7/6 as an answer choice. And that's because the final answer needs to be turned into a mixed number. This is what's called an improper fraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a mixed number. And here's how you do it. You see that we have the 7 up top. and we have the 6 on the bottom. The 6 is what we're dividing by. So I'm going to divide 6 into 7, and let me show you how straightforward this is. Everybody help me out. How many times does 6 go into 7? How many times? That's 1, correct. So we have 1, and that's the whole number. Then we're going to do 6 times 1, that's 6, so we subtract, and then we get 1 as our remainder. And guess what, everybody? The remainder remains in the numerator. We have our whole right here, so we'll have 1 whole, and then we're going to have 1 remaining out of 6. And there it is. The correct answer here is 1 1/6. And if you think about it, another easy way to think about it is, again, well, guess what? To make a whole, we need 6. We already have 6, and we have 1 extra to make the 7. Again, we have 1 whole because we can make 6 1 time with 1 left over. That's, again, another way to think about conversions. Nice and easy right there. So with that said, my party people, there's our correct answer, answer choice B. And let's go ahead and keep moving forward and trying some more out. Let's try this next one out. So as I read this question sentence, I see that it says, what is the volume in cubic feet? Okay, cool. Sounds good. We want to understand what the volume is, which means that we're going to be beholden to some formula. So we need to know what shape. But again, it says volume in cubic feet, and I see that the shape given to us is a rectangular box. So immediately in my head, what's going off is the volume formula being length times width times height. Perfect. So now that we're here, one thing we need to understand is that the volume is required to be in cubic feet. One more time. Again, cubic feet. So what that means is that we need feet multiplied by feet multiplied by feet. The one little issue that I see here is that when we plug in our values, we have 18 inches right there, multiplied by 2 feet for the width, which is correct. And then we also have the height given in feet, 3 feet. Again, it's given to us there and given to us here. We see the word feet clearly stated. So now the problem here is just turning the 18 inches into feet before we get started on the calculation. That's all we have to do. And so to do that, we must understand that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. And so if we want to convert inches to feet, we divide by 12. So here we go. Let's get after it. We will go ahead and do 12 going into 18. 12 goes into 18 once. Subtract the 12 to get 6 left over. We'll go ahead and add a decimal place. Drop that 0. And then we get 12 going into 60, which will end up being 5. And so there's our conversion. Our conversion is going to give us 1.5. 1.5 feet. So what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and rewrite this as 1.5 feet multiplied by 2 feet multiplied by 3 feet. Let's just go ahead and write feet all 3 times. Let me just get that out of the way and copy it from here. And there. Perfect. So take a look, everyone. We're good to go. Again, the biggest problem was right here, but we ended up resolving it. Now we're set to calculate. So what we'll do is I'll just go for the 1.5 multiplied by 2, or 15 times 2, which is 30, or in this case, 3.0. We'll just go ahead and write that down. And then we have the 3 feet right there. 3 multiplied by 3, my party people, is 9. And there it is. Now that we've converted all of our units into feet, our final answer can properly be written as 9 cubic feet. And there we go, my party people. The correct answer here is answer choice B.